Kia ora, Roger. We've got you here for 5 minutes to speak to your submission. In the interest of time, I'll just hand straight over to you.
Thank you. Chairperson, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Roger Gower, and I fully support the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi Bill. My maunga is Kakapuka, and my te awa is the Puniu from the Waikato. At its core, this bill is about clarity, equality, and democracy. Over time, the undefined principles of the treaty have been used to justify judicial activism and expanding interpretations that were never part of the original agreement, as we saw in the last presenter. This has led to the legal uncertainty, growing division, and in some cases race-based policies that undermine equal citizenship. New Zealand is a democracy. It's not a partnership between ethnic groups. As former Prime Minister David Lange rightfully said, we can have a democratic form of government, or we can have Indigenous sovereignty, but they can't coexist, and we can't have them both. The idea of a partnership continues to distort legal and political discourse, and it's creating separate rights rather than equal rights. The Waitangi Tribunal has placed an increasing role in this, and often acting more as an activist body than an impartial institution. Its recent opposition to the bill reinforces its political bias rather than legal clarity. The new version of Principle 2, as proposed by Cabinet, risks prolonging these issues by allowing judicial interpretation that can only fuel separatism and benefit the legal industry rather than ordinary New Zealanders. So we need a clear legislative definition of the treaty principles, and it's long overdue. However, to quote Martin Luther King, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the colour of their skin, but by the content of their character. This bill is a step toward achieving that division in New Zealand. As Governor Hobson stated at the signing of the treaty in 1840, e iwi tahi tatou, we are now one people. That vision will guide us today. I urge this committee to support the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi Bill and ensure that New Zealand remains a unified, equal and democratic nation. Thank you, and I welcome any questions.
Kia ora, thank you for that. Members, does anyone have a question? Mariameno Kapa-Kingi.
Just one, Roger. Tēnā rā hoki koe. Roger, so in your interpretation, you've interpreted he iwi ko tai tātou, one person, one people, as the same people. Is that how you've interpreted? Therefore, we're the same type, we're the same thinking, the same everything. So we're the same people. Is that how you understand that? Because that's how I'm hearing your discussion.
Oh, thank you for the question. No, I don't think so. And I reflect on other conversations around this. And I, for example, act as a mentor for refugees. And we've got a refugee family that we work with who came to New Zealand with nothing, not even the shirts on their backs. They've now built a livelihood. They've now built a community here and are thriving. So this notion that somehow we owe everything to the past, I think, is troublesome. So that we are one people, well, we're not the same people. We can be this rich tapestry of many peoples, but we can't have one group having special rights within.
Just to jump in there, Roger, just one other, which is to say as a sub to that. So if that's you're welcoming and you're sharing a story about a new whānau that you've met and that's great. Do you appreciate or do you recollect that your ancestors were provided the permission to live here? In fact, they were provided, in fact, they were invited and allowed to live here because of an agreements in 1835 and 1840. Do you understand that at all? Did you receive that kind of education when you were going to school here or anything like that?
Well, I lived in Te Awamutu. This notion that New Zealand history was never taught is completely incorrect. We had a lot of local history. The Battle of Araco was fought in my backyard, so I'm very familiar with that. But so the people that arrived before 1840, did they receive that permission?
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm happy to ask the questions. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Thank you. Look,
Yes.
thank you for your submission, Roger. We're out of time, but thanks for coming along. Much appreciated. Kia ora.
Thank you.